Hey, do you want to find out where you can get a home for $1,800 a month? Well, I'm going to show you all about this great product from Starlight Homes. We're in the community of Cedar Pointe, and this is out here in Crosby, Texas. We're located just 30 minutes to the northeast of downtown Houston. Easy access to downtown, easy access to the Med Center, about 38 minutes to there, and you can get a home starting at $1,800 a month all the way up to around $2,300 to $2,400 range. Really, this is one of the best values in the entire greater Houston area, and you're not going to want to miss how we can help you to maximize all of the incentives and show you this great community. We're going to tour the model home, sit down with the sales manager, Mariam. We're going to meet with her and discuss everything that you would need to know about the community, the product that they're selling here, and who you might be interacting with when you actually do come and tour this community. Now, working with me and Justin, we can help you to move whether it's in the next 9 days or 9 months. You want to get with us to make sure we can plan out your next move and help you get in something affordable that meets your family's needs. All right, let's check it out. I love that great covered porch entry to this home. This is the Prism floor plan. This floor plan is 1,912 square feet. It's a 1-story home that's 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and come check out the living room with me. This is a great open concept floor plan. You got this big living room here. And right off of the living room, it's got a covered patio. So on this floor plan, covered porch, covered patio, great exterior on this home, bringing in lots of natural light here into this living room. Of course, they have it set up a little bit like a dining room right now, but if you can imagine, this would be where your living room is. And then off to this side over here, this is where we have our dining area. So just the same setup for right now, because this is the model home and sales office. But right here, we're gonna have a nice sized dining room, great fixture, lots of recessed lighting. And then on this side, we've got this open concept floor plan, right? So you've got living room, dining room, kitchen, huge island. And one day, I'm gonna be able to show you exactly how many briskets you can fit on one of these islands. Now, the thing that I really love about the way that Starlight does their islands is they've got this low bar. I love these low bars just because I have young kids. So for me at my house, it's just something that's so convenient, you know, when you're getting ready in the morning, things like that. And you've got this double sink. They do have other options, but most of them come with this double sink here. And then immediately off of that, you've got your dishwasher. And then if you look behind the island, you've got this great range and oven. Directly above, you've got a microwave, and then some nice cabinets above. And there's lots of room in these floor plans. As you can see how much room there is above the cabinets. They've got really nice, great high ceilings. They do have appliance packages that you can get with Starlight Homes. So I love that. Move-in ready. You've got a refrigerator here. And then you've got just tons of cabinet space. On this side of the bar, you also have a cabinet here. You could do like a small trash can, something if you want it to be out of the way. And then you've got a great sized pantry here that you can store anything that you may need. I really like this floor plan. I love the convenience of just being able to access living room, kitchen, dining, all right here in one simple space. You've got really nice fixtures above as well that give you great lighting for that breakfast area. So let's check out the primary bedroom. So this right here is the primary bedroom. Again, set up as a sales office. They sell a lot of these houses. These are great houses, as we're going to talk about in the interview. These are really affordable homes. You can get into this neighborhood for as low as the like $1,800 to $1,850 a month. So really great home and price in this community. So if you're looking for that affordable option, this might be it. And then this is a really large primary bedroom. You might not be able to tell in the video, but you could easily fit king size bed, nightstands, and then the bed would end about right here, and you'd have another 7 feet or so. Large wall, you'd be able to put a big TV on if you want, or a dresser underneath. And then you've got the primary bathroom. So this primary bathroom, it's not gonna be your, it's not gonna be like overly done, but it is everything that you need. You've got a really large vanity here. Then you've got the toilet here. And then on this side, this floor plan is set up as just a walk-in shower. Just a large shower. And then you've got a great walk-in closet here. And something that I think, something that gets overstated or understated is that, you know, whenever you get to some of these other higher end communities and homes, they'll sometimes put a small closet, but you've got a really affordable house here and a lot of square footage that's being utilized. You've got 1,912 square feet in this home, but you're getting 4 bedrooms and 3 full baths, and you still have a huge walk-in closet. I mean, you could put 2 gun safes in here, and one day I'm gonna get Justin to drop safes in there. So let's go check out the rest of the house, show you the other secondary bedrooms. And then also there is an in-home utility room. And see, if you put the trash can underneath the island, you won't have any mess ups. So great hallway here, nice high ceilings. Let's stop right here and go this way. This is where we're gonna have our utility room. So great size utility room in there. You know, you got plenty of room to walk in, and you know, if you'd like to go and check out the construction, we can definitely do that to see what these homes are built like. Hey, they're all about safety here when they're building these houses. And then this is on this side that you have the utility room for this prism floor plan. You also are going to have a full bedroom and bathroom. So this one's all by itself. So if you do have like a mother-in-law, or you have an older kid and you maybe younger kids on the other age, you might want to split them up that way, or they might want some more privacy. And then this is where they would do that. And then on this side is where you'd access the 2-car garage. Of course, they got it set up as a sales center right now. And that would be the bathroom that your guests use. Okay, so these other bedrooms that we're gonna go check out, these are really, they have their own bathroom that is really not accessed anywhere other than these bedrooms. So right now, we're in the 3rd bedroom. This bedroom does face the front of the home, and it's right here off this covered porch. But you got good light, nice window. These are double pane windows. They've actually even got the gridding on the top of them, so really nice to have these. Great lights in here. You've got recessed lights in here as well. This is where you're gonna have your closet. Then in here we've got your bathroom, where you've got a single sink vanity, toilet. Then this is gonna have the tub shower combo. And then this leads directly into our last bedroom, the 4th bedroom. And so you cannot get to that bathroom from anywhere else in the house. So if you got kids that need, you know, you want a kid's bathroom or something that you don't have to clean up before guests come over or things like that, you can have them utilize these bedrooms and bathrooms, and that way you can just worry about keeping this guest bathroom open and available whenever you have company. So this floor plan, it doesn't have a ton of extras, but it's exactly what you might need if you're looking for a great home that's got plenty of bedrooms and plenty of bathrooms. I really think that for a home like this, where you got 4 bedrooms, really affordable price, this one's probably going to run you in the $2,000 a month range, because this one's a little bit higher end than maybe the smaller floor plan. This one could be a little bit closer to that $2,200, depending on which type of loan you want. But really, we're talking about a great price on a home that you're going to get equity in. This is a community that also features Ashton Woods, their sister company. And so if you get with us, we're going to make sure that you pick the right home to maintain your value and give you equity right away whenever you do move into this neighborhood. So if you're interested in finding out more about this, we're actually going to sit down with Mariam, the sales manager out here, and she's going to tell us all about all of the incentives, how you get those incentives, how you can really maximize your purchase and get the home that you and your family are looking for. Let's stay tuned and check that out. Hey everyone, today we are meeting with Mariam from Starlight Homes, and we're in the community of Cedar Pointe, located in Crosby, Texas. Today, we're going to go over everything you would need to know about the lots and homes they have available, incentives, payments, and the great amenities that they have in this community. So, Mariam, thank you so much for having us out. We appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
Thank you for your time.
So, Mariam, what makes Starlight Homes the company that buyers should choose when they're looking for their next home?
So with Starlight Homes, we're not just selling a house, we're helping individuals change their home addresses, right?
Right.
So we're all about homeownership 101 here.
Okay.
You know, whether it's your first time, second time, you're leaving your parents or you're coming out of the apartment, it's a lot of unknown, right? So our team here at Starlight Homes helps the individual step by step and gets you into your first home, or whether it be your second, right? So, but our education piece is like going to be the big thing with Starlight Homes.
Okay, no, I love that. And so it sounds like that would be probably, if somebody was going to look for their first home, there might be a good stop to come here first so they get all that home buyer education, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. We definitely love to educate our realtors, our future home buyers, and we want to make sure that they have all the tools. And that way there's no hiccups, right, when we're going under contract, and we've let them know, because we're hand by process with
right.
them.
No, I love that. Yeah. You know, education is such a big thing. I was just talking with a potential buyer we had this morning, and he's worried about, you know, he just doesn't know anything about where he's at or even the process, and he's never purchased a home. Yeah. And so there's a lot of education that goes into it. And that's one of the benefits while we're making videos like this, so that we can educate on that process and make it not as scary. Because, you know, purchasing a home is one of the biggest and most stressful things that you'll ever do. But when you work with great professionals like us, we're going to make that process smooth. Yeah. So I did want to ask you about Cedar Pointe. You know, what makes this the community to be in here in Crosby?
Great question. One of my favorite ones. Well, one being we're super close to the Hobby Airport, actually. Okay. Not too far of a drive to Houston downtown either. Just about 25, 30 minutes away. And another cool thing is we're right off the highway of Highway 90 that intersects into I-10. Yeah. So we're not too deep into the Crosby area. So we just take the exit, and then our community just comes up after a right turn. So it's not too far in at all. Yeah,
no, I love that. Yeah, we're really only about 20 minutes from Bush Airport, actually. Sorry about that. It's Bush Airport that we're so close to on this side. But then we are only 30 minutes to downtown, 38 minutes to the Med Center. So you're right about the linkages. Super close and convenient. If you do need to travel, you've got the airport, you know, really close by. You've got downtown Med Center. Really, if you're thinking about going out to like somewhere like Katy or even up north to the Woodlands, we're talking about a 50-minute, you know, maybe hour-long drive to get up there. Right. But being 30 minutes from downtown, people don't realize that about Crosby, that we're very close. So you get that suburban feel, but you have quick access to get into town.
Absolutely. And it's an up-and-coming town, so when you guys, I always say when there's land, there's opportunities. So you guys will definitely see that charm in this area as well, in the small town living.
Yeah. So I love that you brought up the small town living and up and coming town. See, Crosby's been here for a long time.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. It just hasn't seen the development quite like some of the other areas like Katy, Cypress, places like that. And so I do think it is almost like a little bit of a hidden gem.
Yeah.
And it's almost a little bit rural. Now, just the connection to major areas is not the only thing Cedar Point has going for it, right? I mean, I think you've got some fantastic amenities that are already under construction.
Yeah.
So what amenities are y'all offering?
So we're going to have a recreation center along with the pool, fountains, walking trails. Our monument's already up, so everything should be completed by this upcoming summer in a couple months. So the progress has been really nice to see every time we drive up here.
Yeah, no, I love that. So the amenities are already under construction, which is an important part, but actually part of the benefit if you got in early, not everybody knows about what's happening because you actually have to come and talk to someone like Mariam about what's going to be here. You can't just drive out to the neighborhood and see what already exists.
Right.
Once that happens, people come out on the weekend, they might get more interested and there might be even more buyer demand.
Right.
So this might be the perfect time for you to come in and purchase.
Absolutely.
No, I love that. And so it's going to be playgrounds, you're going to have a pool, you're going to have a rec center, and then there's a fountain and lake with walking trails around.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's a lot. And it helps to build that community feel because whenever you move to this neighborhood, you're not having to go and drive into Maine, Crosby to go to any of those parks or other things. Now you can, obviously, but you could just walk or maybe you get yourself a golf cart and you just
stay
drive
in your own
over there,
community.
you know, and then you're going to be able to hang out with all of your neighbors. You're going to get to know each other. And Mariam and I were talking about how, you know, when you're starting a family or raising a family, community and village, right? You want your village. So you really need to come in and get connected with your neighbors because those are the people that are going to be your support, right?
Yeah.
So I love that. It helps to bring such a great sense of community actually having those amenities versus if you were in a neighborhood that didn't have any.
Oh, right.
You know?
Absolutely. It's very important, especially with the HOA. You know, you want to make sure you get what you're paying for. So that's exactly what you're going to get here at Cedar Point.
Yeah. No, I love that. Thank you. So what are the sizes of homes that you have here? And then what are some of the prices? Let's start with sizes, like smallest and largest.
Sure, yeah. So we build on 40-foot lots over here, 45 by 120. So typically our square footage will start, the minimum would be a 1,206 square foot, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, a 1-story, all the way to a 2,338 2-story, 4-bedroom with 3 full bathrooms.
Wow.
So we have plenty of floor plans to choose from when it comes to, you know, picking the right one that best fits you and your family's needs.
Yeah, no, I love that. So on the smaller one, it sounds like probably a 2-car garage. And you're going to have just the 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. Okay, perfect. Great little starter home or if you don't need a ton of space. But then you've got these 2,300 square foot, 4-bedroom houses. Now, these are 2-story on that floor plan?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
So we have a mixed variety. Like in the home we're in right now, it offers a 1-story layout. Open concept is going to be within all of our floor plans, but this particular one that we showed to everybody that comes into our model home is going to have 4 bedrooms with 3 full bathrooms, and it gives a 1-story layout because sometimes people don't want that 2-story level.
Yeah,
so,
my wife doesn't.
Yeah,
I've got a 2-story.
Makes sense. But yeah, so in this particular floor plan, it does have like a bathroom between 2 bedrooms, which is one of my favorite features in this house, especially if you have children or if you want to put one as an office. So
I love that.
Yeah.
So you even have 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom options that are 1-story.
Yeah.
Now in that case, you know, you might have a little bit smaller of a lot, but if that's not really what you're buying the home for, you just want that big one-story layout. I love that you have that option.
Yeah.
Or if you go with the two-story, you are going to have more of a backyard, right? Because you're stacking the square footage.
Correct.
So let's talk about now all of them come with two-car garages, or
all of them come with two-car garages.
Perfect.
You have your private backyard, you have your front yard.
Yeah.
There's privacy between you and your neighbor, fully fenced as well.
Okay.
And fully sodded in the front and backyard.
All right, fully fenced, fully sodded, or grass for regular people. Now, with the homes that you're building here, are they all going to have a covered porch, covered patio, or what is that like?
Great question. So some of our elevations do have the covered porch options, right? Particularly on the one stories, you'll see that covered porch. On some of our two stories by the front door, we covered a little bit.
Right.
As far as the backyard goes, all of our one story layouts, 3 bedrooms, that is, would have a covered patio.
Okay, great. And so covered patios are important.
Yeah.
Whether you get one put in after, or you can get one direct in one of these floor plans that does offer one. No, so I love that. Some people really love to hang out outside. I know that I do.
Yeah.
Barbecuing and stuff. And
it's that season right now here in Texas.
Yeah, it's always barbecue season for me. But if you have a covered patio, it's always barbecue season.
Yeah.
You don't have to let the elements dictate whether or not you're going to be grilling and chilling, right? So let's talk about the prices. So you've got 1,300 square foot homes. What is the price on the 1,300 square foot home?
So actually we just sold out of that layout not too long ago. Sales consultant already sold that one, but we do have a 1,412 square foot home available.
Okay. So I appreciate you sharing that about the different sizes of homes that you have here. It seems like you have a wide range, 1,300 to 2,300 square foot. So are these all going to be like spec homes, inventory homes, or is there any build on your own or build on a lot options?
Yeah,
how does that work?
We build spec inventory only. So typically our homes are ready to move in. So you can move in about 30 days or even less.
Okay.
Yeah. So some of our homes are going to be still under construction, but as far as lot, floor plan, where it sits, it's already selected.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, that takes some of the guesswork, especially if you have some first-time home buyers. There's a lot of things that go into purchasing a home that have nothing to do with what the house looks like, which lot it's located on. So I can see the appeal for a first-time buyer to just be like, oh, they have 7 options for me. There's 7 homes available. Let me pick which one's perfect for us, and then that's the one we're gonna buy.
Yes.
Versus being like, well, there's 80 different lots, and there's, if you considering some of the other builders we've interviewed, they might have like 2,000 floor plans. How do you choose between 2,000 floor plans?
We try to narrow it down.
Yeah.
Right, because as humans, A or B is easier. So
A or B is much easier. That's what the optometrist does to you, right?
Right.
Better 1, better 2.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They can't overload you with too many, otherwise you won't make a choice.
You won't make a decision.
No, so that is perfect. So on the smaller floor plans, so 1,300 square foot, what does the price range on one of those go for?
So, great question. We actually have one on promotion right now.
Okay.
It's going to be a bit bigger. It's 1,402 square foot.
Okay.
And we have it highly reduced at $204,990.
Wow.
Yeah.
$204,000?
Original price is in the 240s.
Yeah.
So we highly reduced it, and we actually have another incentive tied to that price tag as well, which we can get into.
Well, now I've got to know, what's the other incentive that you've got hanging in the air?
Absolutely. So with our preferred lender, we do offer 2% towards the closing costs with that price tag as well. Yeah.
So you can get a home today for $205 basically, and 2% contributed towards your closing cost if you use their preferred lender.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great deal, and that sounds like it'd save you a lot of money, especially if this is your first time buying a home. Coming out of a lease, it sounds like, thinking about it from potential future value, you may sell this house in 5, 6, 7, 8 years.
Right.
And thinking about walking into a home with equity, that sounds like you're going to be able to walk into that home with equity, especially since you've got some other your sister builder,
Yes.
right? Ashton Woods is building
Yes.
in this community,
Yes.
and they do have a little higher level of a product, and that's going to help to maintain that value. I mean, you're talking about
Absolutely.
walking in with instant equity. So in
Yes.
case something were to happen in the next 2 or 3 years and you needed to make a move, it sounds
can.
like you'd be able to get out and move on to that next part of your life. So
Yeah.
no, I love that you brought that up. That's a
Yeah.
really great deal and a really great price. What is the payment going to look like offhand? Do you have what the estimated payment would be for that home?
Yeah, so payments can range from like 1,800 to max 2,000 for that layout, just depending
Wow.
on, the incentive or
Yeah.
the down payment, all that in between. Yeah.
Right, and yeah, so there's a lot of differences between which loan option you have, and we'll get into the loan options here in just a minute because they do have several to choose from. But if you could get into this house for the low 1800s, I mean, there's not much available in terms of home ownership in the greater Houston area that you could get into for that price.
Yeah.
So I love that, and that's one of the reasons why I think y'all just are a fantastic builder for a first-time home buyer, because getting instant equity and keeping your payment low.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Our
a
whole
good
goal
value.
is to make sure it's an affordable payment
Yeah.
for the consumer, right? So
I love that.
That's our whole goal. We would hate for someone to overpay,
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's great. That's why I love working with y'all, just to make
you.
it as, yeah, no doubt. I mean, we really want to make home ownership attainable for everyone.
And affordable.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's how you get it, right? Is that, you might want to be in a house, but if you can't afford it, then it's not going to happen, right? So if you're in a lease right now, and you're thinking about buying a home, this might be the perfect option for you. And don't let your current lease stop you, because we have plenty of ways to work around your lease, whether or not it's a buyout program that we offer, or whether or not we just negotiate for the actual apartment to just let you out of it if you contract on one of these properties. So definitely don't let that hold you back. You could take advantage of it right now.
Yeah.
And to get a 1,400 square foot single family home, you're not going to have neighbors above your head stomping on the floor, or you're not going to be the one causing the ruckus,
Right.
getting the complaints, right?
You also have your own privacy, within
Absolutely.
your own home. So I feel like that's really important to individuals nowadays, right? So,
Yeah.
especially if you want to grow your family or grow within yourself if you're an individual. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, you have your own garage, you can park your stuff in safety, you have your own backyard, you can barbecue out there all weekend.
Have your dogs.
No
Or
issues.
your cat.
Dogs, cats, however you want to enjoy it. Home ownership is so great. But not only that, is that every time you make a payment, you know that you're continuing to build equity in the home. So that money that would be going lost at an apartment complex is not going to be lost anymore. Not to mention the fact that part of your monthly payment is able to be written off on your taxes every single year. So
Wow.
that's one of my favorite parts, is being able to write off the mortgage interest on my note, right? And people maybe don't think about that, but that's a big deal, because if you say you paid $10,000, that's a high number. Say you paid $5,000 in mortgage interest, you actually get to use that as a deduction on your taxes. Now, I'm not a CPA or tax expert, so definitely consult with somebody. But it's something that I take advantage of, and that the homeowners that we work with take advantage of, because, and so not only are you building equity, but then you're actually not paying as much taxes because you actually had to pay mortgage interest. Right. So and that's the education aspect, right?
And another thing that people don't realize is when you're a primary homeowner, you get a tax break. There's been a lot of times where a future homeowner doesn't know that. So you get, as you're aware, 20% from the tax rate, right? It's the homestead exemption.
Right.
So especially if you're of age, I believe it's 65 and above, you get extra tax breaks. So those are some of the cool things that one could apply for. Yeah,
no doubt. And the homestead exemption just went up to went from, it was 40,000, now it's 100,000, and now it's 140,000 off of your assessed tax value when it's contributed towards your school taxes. I know that's a lot of information and maybe it's hard to understand, but we know all the ins and outs about a mortgage payment and how to factor it properly and how to calculate it. So don't let any of this scare you. We're here to help you and to guide you through this process.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we talked about why somebody should make the move from leasing into one of these homes, and you make it so affordable, you know, getting in at the low 1800s in terms of monthly payment. Now, what is the largest, on the largest floor plan that you have here, what is the price and then kind of like the estimated payment?
Yeah, so originally the price goes for like in the low 300s, but with our incentives and discounts, we have it going for the 260s to 270s, just depending on the lot itself. So that monthly payment would be right around, I would say, $2,350, max $2,500.
Wow. Yeah, so depending on what loan you're qualifying for, then to get into this neighborhood, get a 2,400 square foot home and pay $2,300 to $2,500
a month. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great deal.
It is.
And so it really, we couldn't state it enough, how great of a deal that is. We look at, me and Justin here on our team, we look at prices with all these different builders all around the greater Houston area, and these are some of the best prices we've seen to date. Now, if somebody wants to come in and write an offer today, what do they have to put down as earnest money in order to secure the contract? What is that amount?
Yeah, so all we take is $3,000 to take the house off the market. What that essentially means is, you know, you're basically going under contract or promising you will proceed with the file, the loan itself, right? So we hold that as a deposit, which goes towards your cash to close.
Right.
So it's not like Starlight Homes likes to keep it. It actually goes somewhere in a safe account for when that time does come when you go to the title office.
Okay, perfect. I love that. So you can secure a contract with as little as $3,000 down right now, which if we're considering leases, I mean, you can't get into a lease without putting first and last month's rent.
Right.
I mean, so you've got to have at least that amount, even if you're trying to go and rent a new apartment or something. No, so that's great. So $3,000. Now, I think you said this weekend you had a special incentive, right?
Yes.
What is that special incentive?
So our special is half off earnest for a limited time. So that means it's $1,500 to put down.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah.
So Mariam and Starlight Homes, they're offering discounts like this all the time. And if you want to make sure that you're staying up to date, say you're not going to buy this weekend, but you want to buy sometime in the future, you want to be in contact with us so we can plan out that move and make sure we maximize those incentives, right? Especially with that, you know, it's not every home, but that 2% that you were offering towards closing costs on that other floor plan. These are incentives that you're not going to want to miss because right there, if the home is $200,000, you're talking about $4,000. That's money that is not coming out of your pocket. So it sounds like that makes up for the earnest money that you put down, and actually more than that, right? More than makes up for it. So it's really affordable trying to buy one of these homes from Starlight, and they're going to educate you along the way. Now, I love that you brought that all up. I did want to ask you, though, about these incentives and how we get these incentives. So are these incentives only being offered for using your preferred lender?
Yes, most of our incentives are tied with our preferred lender. Another incentive that is my favorite is using our ARM program.
Right.
So I know ARM is a scary term for most.
Yeah, why don't you tell them what ARM means? You're not giving them my arm, are you?
No arms.
Okay.
It's an adjustable rate mortgage, actually.
Adjustable rate mortgage.
So ours is it's going to protect the buyer for at least 5 to 10 years, and it does adjust according to the market.
Right.
So what that means is we'll give you the interest rate of 3.25. It'll be protected for the first 5 to 10 years, right? And then it will adjust by 1 point depending on the market.
Right.
But it's always going to be lower than your market interest rate. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's different, but it's also cool at the same time. Those ARM programs would be great for somebody who's not looking to live in the house long term.
Yeah.
Let's say if they're like, hey, I just want to be here for 3 years, get the equity, and I want to move into a better product, right? Such as our Ashton Woods home. So it's like I would say like you could take advantage of the ARM while you have other goals in mind. But for someone who wants to stay, this is my forever home, I would recommend going into our fixed rate option. So we do have fixed rate options from 4.25 to 4.99. Just depends on which promotion you prefer. And with those, all of those interest rates I just mentioned, whether it be a 3.25 ARM, 4.25 or 4.99 fixed, we do offer up to $10,000 towards your closing costs with those incentives.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot.
That was a lot.
So I'm going to try to break this down simply. The ARM that she's talking about, this is what we call an adjustable rate mortgage. Okay. Now, the reason why they call it adjustable is that at the end of the term, so either 5 or 10 years, are you offering 5 or 10 or just 5?
5.
Okay, so at the end of the 5 years, okay, so you're getting it at 3.25, okay, which is a great, unheard of interest rate today, all right? You're getting it locked in for 5 years. Then she said the index, which means when it adjusts, it will adjust by 1%. So at the end of 5 years, if market rate's up, it goes up by 1%. But still, that's lower than what the market rate would be, even probably at that time, unless we had something where prices went down drastically, right? Now, we can analyze that when time comes.
Yes.
But that's a really great deal. And like you mentioned, that, you know, if you're thinking, I'm going to be in this house for 5 years, and then we're going to have another kid, and then we're going to, and then I'm also trying to maybe get a better job at that point. Or maybe I'll qualify for a bonus after I've been with my company so long. So then we'll actually want to move into one of the, you know, bigger homes or whatever, one of the Ashton Wood products or something like that. You're only in there for 5 years. And then if you take advantage of some of the other really great home prices, because that 2049 on one of them, that's not the only one that they're offering deals on. They've got other deals out there. Yeah. So if we get into one of those, instant equity, get a 5-year ARM, that's a really great deal right now. And we're talking low payments. All right. So I thank you for mentioning that. And give me those other rates on the fixed one more time.
So on our fixed, we have a 4.99.
4.99.
As low as 4.25 as well.
And the
4.25.
And a 4.25 as well. Okay, so you still get a really great rate even if you were to go with one of the fixed rate options. Y'all really got some very competitive prices.
Yeah.
I mean, these are probably like some of the best deals in the market right now today. Yeah. And if you're considering a resale home, you're not going to get any rates like this. And if you're in the market for a home, this is really one, if you need something affordable, this is really a great option. You're not going to get these amenity-rich communities offering deals like this very often. So this is a must-buy if you're in the market to be in Crosby or considering, you know, being out here. So now I can't state it enough. I'm excited about it. I want to sell a bunch of these.
We get super excited when we tell our customers this, and then not only that, we also have a special down payment assistance program as well with our preferred lender.
More incentives. Okay.
There's always more.
There's always more. So you got to stay up to date. You got to get in contact with me and Justin as soon as you're thinking about making a move, whether it's in the next 9 days or 9 months. You got to start planning that out because Mariam is going to be offering these deals out like hotcakes, and they might change. But they're still probably going to be available to you in some form or fashion. We just need to figure out what's going to work best for your family. And this neighborhood and these homes are not going to be available forever, right? These things are going to move. That's why I say hotcakes. These homes are going to be hot homes, right? So how long has the neighborhood been here? It's fairly new.
Yeah, fairly new. Actually, just at a year right now.
Okay, just at a year. So they opened up, I think, early spring or late winter of 2025. So we're coming up in just about a year here in this community. And do they know, do y'all have already the expectations for when you're looking to close out the community?
We expect to be here for about another year, I'd say. We just started our Section 3.
Yeah.
So,
Is that the last section?
from my understanding, yes.
Okay. So these homes will not last. You've got to get down here and check one of these out. So we talked about that if you buy one of these, you could close in the next 30 days. We talked about all of the interest rates and things like that. We didn't talk about the warranties. Some people don't know, but new homes come with warranties.
Yes.
So what warranties do you have right now on these products?
Yeah, so we go through our 210 warranty program. So it offers 1 year for the craftsmanship, which is front door to the back, right, bumper to bumper, and then 2 year for electrical and plumbing, basically anything between the walls.
Everything in the walls.
Right. And then 6 years for the structure of the home, like your columns, your beams, anything related to the house itself. So.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you're going to have a great warranty. 1 year, bumper to bumper, 2 year, anything in the walls, and 6 year to cover your foundation and structural components of the home.
Correct.
So no, I think that's a big thing that worries some people about home ownership.
Yeah.
And if it's your first time buying a home, that's one of the benefits of buying a new home, is that you're going to get this warranty that's going to make sure that if you have any problems, they're going to be taken care of. You're not going to be coming out of pocket, because AC systems on resale homes, AC systems, foundations, roofs,
It adds up.
it all can add up very quick. You may not even think about hot water heaters, ovens, all your appliances. Anything could go wrong on a resale home, and you just have no certainty of it unless you get a home warranty, and we can discuss that if you're interested in a resale. Is there anything though that you think that you'd like buyers to know or to consider before coming out to shop here in this neighborhood?
Absolutely. I feel like come with an open mind, embrace it. It's a journey itself. And it's optional, but if you truly want to be prepared, you can definitely get going with our preferred lender, applying with them, or even any lender of your preference. You can start applying, which is called the pre-qualification process. Right. But we do that here in office, soft pre-quals over here. But yeah, just keeping an open mind. I think open for the journey would be my answer for that.
No, I love that you brought that up with the open-mindedness. And I spoke earlier about a buyer that just really had no idea what it took to buy a home, how and how stressful it does feel when you're thinking of buying a home, just because there's so much uncertainty. But I think if you come with an open mind, having the conversation with me about, hey, I want to be a homeowner this year. How can we make it happen? Well, I'm not here to force you into a home today. I'm here to help guide you through that process. And working with great professionals like Mariam here, we're going to make sure that all of your questions are answered. And if this is the right home and if this is the right neighborhood, then we absolutely want to make sure you get the best deal possible. So you need to have an open mind when you're considering buying a home, just because there's things like incentives and discounts and mortgage rates, that all these things differ, not to mention, trying to find out whether or not this home is going to hold value, if I have equity whenever I move in. Right. There are a lot of pieces to the puzzle, and we can put them together and organize them very well for you. And then if you are wondering about my piece of the puzzle, that's one of the reasons why I love working with Mariam and Starlight Homes, is that we've already agreed on the commission that they are going to cover. So there's no out-of-pocket cost when you're using me to purchase one of these homes. So you definitely want to reach out and utilize my services. So how would you describe it? Would you say that it smooths out the process, having a great agent like myself work with them when they're trying to buy one of these new homes?
Oh, 100%. Because there's some terms that me as a individual who's in real estate, and you're a realtor, we understand these certain terms and how it's going to affect our customer that we have together, right? Whereas the customer may not understand or just need more guidance, right? So it definitely helps us as a team when there is an agent involved, because they can explain the process, or hey, this is actually needed, or if there are unresponsive somehow, some way, but at least the realtor can get in touch with them in a different manner than as a Starlight consultant, right?
Yeah, no, I love that. And the way that I always like to break it down for my clients is that, you represent the builder. You're going to make sure everything is perfect with the product that they're actually buying. My job is to represent them, to make sure that everything is good with my buyer.
Absolutely.
Make sure that the deal does in fact make sense.
Absolutely.
Make sure that the home is going to maintain value over the long term so that it is a good financial decision for them. So it's all about protecting their interest, and you're all about making sure that it's a great product. And so that's why I think that, coming together. Yeah, it comes together so perfectly. And again, there's no cost for using my services because they're going to cover that because they want you. And I appreciate that with Starlight Homes, and some of our other great builder partners is they understand that buyers need more help. They need assistance. They need to be represented. You wouldn't go into court without an attorney, right? Well, at least unless if you want to win, if you want a good outcome, you're going to take an attorney into court with you. It's the same thing when making a home purchase. You want to have a good agent representing you on that home purchase, and no fees are incurred by the buyer whenever they use us. So. I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and explain all that. I think we've basically covered everything. If you're interested, you can go back and rewatch the home tour as many times as you like, or contact us to make sure that we get you scheduled to come out and see one of these homes or any of the other inventory homes and find out all of the discounts, even if they're only discounts that they've let us know about, right? So we want to make sure that you get all that information. And we just thank you so much for watching the video, and we hope it was helpful to you.
Mariam, we finally got to meet up.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too. We've been talking for like 2 months trying to get our schedules to align. And I know like behind the scenes, we were just talking about how time is the everlasting factor to, get things done. Yeah. But yeah, so you're one of the first like sales managers we've actually had on. Most of the time it's just new home sales consultants.
Yeah.
We've never had anybody from,
I'm honored.
Yeah, absolutely. You should feel honored. Yeah, that's a big deal. But how long have you been in new construction?
I've been in new construction for 4 years now.
Okay, perfect. What got you into new construction?
To be honest, my spouse.
Yeah.
I was already in real estate, just getting to know the industry and how real estate is being as an agent. Yep. And so my spouse was like, why don't you get into new construction?
Absolutely.
Because I'm just the type of person, I want a team, I want structure, I want regulations and all of that in between, right? So I just felt like it was best to be on this side of things and learn more, grasp everything, and still work with agents and homeowners and everybody in between when it comes to construction as well.
Definitely.
So.
Yeah, I think new construction is so powerful for that because what we've kind of found, I think we're on like 15 or 16 interviews now, is everybody either transitioned from real estate into new home sales, or they are looking to be an agent and they start off in new home sales. And I think going that route is so smart because people don't realize what real estate is when they're getting into it.
Absolutely.
They don't realize like they're business owners. You got to manage business. You got to build a business.
Right.
There's so much into it, and then you got to build your lending partners.
Right.
And then like on top of all that, you got to manage yourself, and you got to stay strict to a schedule.
Yeah.
So just coming into like something that's a little bit more traditional, I guess, but still real estate adjacent.
Right.
It is such a good fit for so many different people, especially if you like structure.
Yes. Yeah. I'm all about organization, and I tell this to my consultants too. Yes, we have a training program, but you will grasp everything and start building your pipeline and networking once you are on the field, right?
Definitely.
So that's when it really starts. So same with any real estate position.
I know Starlight, you guys have to have like a crazy good training program because some of your sales consultants that I've talked to, they've been on it. They've been on the ball. And I think that's another big issue when people get into real estate is they might spend a lot of time training, but they might be training in something that's not productive or in the right direction. So I think from the new home I guess your staff, that we've talked to. I mean, they're pretty on it.
Oh,
So,
that's great. I love to hear that.
Oh, definitely. And that's coming from someone outside the industry or from outside of your industry, so to speak, and being a business owner and everything. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
You
Such
guys
a
are
huge
really
compliment.
efficient. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we're here in your community out here in Crosby. You have a lot of amenities coming soon to this neighborhood.
Under construction as we speak, and it's been beautiful to see the progress as well.
Oh, I'm sure. I love watching dirt move. So that's a lot of fun. So with all the communities, or with all the amenities coming in, what do you think you would use the most if you lived in this community?
To be honest with you, the pool.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it's Texas. We're in Houston, Texas. We're near Baytown. So, like, you know, when spring comes, everybody wants to get in the water. They want to start barbecuing. So, I mean, why wouldn't you want to get in the pool?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that.
Good. That's such a nice aspect, because when you go to like a community pool, not associated with the neighborhood, but like at a park or something like that, or even go to like Schlitterbahn, our big water park system here in Houston, go to it. It's pretty fun. But I like the community pools for the neighborhood specifically because, one, you're cooling off, but two, you're getting to meet your neighbors.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just building that community on a more like personal level, getting to know people, like versus just passing them in the street, walking the dog, or or chasing your dog if they get out.
Especially if one has children, right?
Yeah.
Children love, being with other children of their age. So I think the pool is a great way to network and be social.
It is. It is, and especially I think we're probably starting to see in the world now. People are wanting to stay home with their kids a little bit more. So I think just having, it just builds, I think the way you and Cody talked about with building that community and building that village, having amenities like that you guys are going to offer is just going to contribute to the family dynamic so much more.
Yeah, absolutely.
With this community, it seems like it's going to be a lot of like first-time home buyers, I would imagine.
Yes.
So how often are they having to get out of leases to come into this neighborhood?
I would say out of 6, maybe 2 would have to still get out of their lease and need that type of assistance or guidance to get out of that lease. Most are already, hey, we already know our 2 months is coming up. We're ready. We've been doing our homework. Some, they're just like, oh, well, I'm in a lease, but that doesn't matter to me, So it just depends.
Sure. Yeah. And then how many people do you have that are trying to sell a home to get to your community?
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like every quarter we may get 1 or 2 of those individuals that still have to sell their previous home. So we try to make it efficient, right? Because it is stressful for them to sell their home, put it on the market, and then get into a new home. So we try to make it as stress-free as possible when that comes to play.
And I imagine having great partners probably makes that a lot easier.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Perfect. So being a manager of a new home community, what do you think is the biggest thing, and not necessarily your staff, but just what you see in the industry? What do you think that a lot of sales reps struggle with?
I believe a lot of sales reps do struggle with marketing. Yeah. Because of course we can all do our individual outreach, right? With our pipeline, our plethora of the realtors that we know. But I think if you want to grow your business and meet more people, and everybody's online now, right? With the touch of a button, I can find any realtor to help me who fits my needs and what I'm looking for, right? So I think marketing is gonna be the biggest one because that's the era we're in with AI now and everything. So definitely social media marketing.
Positively, and that's why we dove headfirst into this, and especially doing new construction. Because we reached a point last year. I mean, we had so many listings last year that were just kind of sitting, and we're really proactive with our marketing, especially for like our resale homes. But we were kind of like, what's going on here? And what we realized was the few that we did have sitting, we could not compete with the new construction, funny enough. So we were like, okay, well, obviously we need to up our social media game. But two, it was like, let's dive in on this new construction because as you guys talked about earlier, I mean, your pricing is just awesome. And the incentives that you guys can give with your interest rates and everything, it made total sense. But with the social media, we were like, well, let's do something more that's just dancing in front of a house for like TikTok views. It's like, let's do something informational. That really gives value to people, not just to our clients, but also to the builders.
Highly agree.
That's something that we try to, because, with our stuff, I mean, we're answering so many questions. We try to make it to where it's also a tool for you guys to use, where you can just send to your clients and say, hey, if you have this question, we answered it right here. And we're probably going to have like an hour. This video is probably going to be like an hour and a half on YouTube. And it's like, if you really want a deep dive, guess what? You can look at the model home. We're going to answer probably most of the questions you have, so that when they come to you or when they come to us, they've already kind of made the best educated decision they can possibly make.
Right.
So I think along with doing the social media, also make sure it's valuable to the people watching.
And it's very important on the type of content one puts out, right? Because if you're representing like us as a builder, right, Starlight Homes, it's very imperative because of what you put out, because you're representing a company. Whereas an agent, absolutely, they are their own business, their own brand.
Yeah.
So everybody has their own way of mixing things, but I think the intent should be there for sure.
Definitely. And when you're encouraging your sales agents to build their social media or work on their marketing, are you kind of telling them to do it towards Starlight, or are you trying to help them build like a personal brand?
So it depends on the individual, right? So some people will do their personal branding along with the Starlight promoting, which is fine, as you should have your own brand as well. I know I have mine, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, we typically would prefer our sales consultants to promote the listings that we have, right? Because we're in the new home construction business. So, whether it be showing a house or showing how a house gets built, or what does this stage mean, or this is how we educate the buyer. So there's a variety of things that we can share that we do within. But yeah, absolutely. I feel like personal branding is definitely what's the new thing right now, right?
Yeah.
So I know there's a consultant I love to follow. He works for Starlight Homes, but he's not in our division.
Yeah.
He's in a different city, I believe Austin. I just love his marketing, and I share it to my page because we're in one brand, so why not?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Now, the reason I ask about the personal branding is because I noticed that what a lot of people will do is they'll put like Jay with Starlight Homes, and I don't know if that person exists. If that's you, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not calling you out directly. But they'll put like, that is their tag handle, and it's all Starlight. And I'm
Gotcha.
like, I get that, but like Starlight already has such great marketing.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
Like, you don't need to contribute to that. Like, people want to reach out to you.
Correct.
They don't want to reach out to Starlight. So
right.
I was just trying
That
to get
makes
your
sense.
perspective from like a managerial standpoint.
Yeah, absolutely. I was very mindful when I was picking my username too. I was like, what would I want to do? So according to me, mine is actually the @ handle, Mariam Sells New Homes.
Yep.
So I kept it pretty simple. My name, what I do.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That's same with that's how we got our team name. Was one, there was already a successful team that had something similar, but we cover a little bit more broader spectrum Houston, but we're like living in greater Houston. So we can cover areas like Crosby, so we can cover areas like Galveston, where even though they're not really Houston, they are kind of Houston in a sense. We still claim them, as Houstonians, as H-Town people.
Our suburbs.
Yeah, exactly. But also what I was going to say with that, I mean, if anybody gives you backlash on the social media aspect, I mean, that's how we found you.
Right.
To make this video. I was like looking at like some of the biggest areas on HAR, our MLS here, what are some of the big up and coming areas. And then now, I mean, that's one way that we find our people that we decide to bring on the channel is, do they have a social media following? Because we just started getting inundated with builders. And we're like, we had to start being a little bit more selective on who we're going to bring on. But one of those deciding factors is, do they have social media, one, and two, do they have a following? Are they putting out content? Are they doing the things that they need to do to market themselves? Because we can only help you but so much, especially being an independent agency.
Right.
We can't do your job for you.
Of course.
And we had another one, not calling value out, but it was such a beautiful community. Probably one of the most sought after communities in that region.
Oh, really?
But it performed to our market,
right?
But there was no supplemental marketing from the new home sales consultant, and that was just kind of the turning point for us.
That's such a big miss.
It is,
right? So it's like, who do we reach out to?
Right.
It's always questionable.
Absolutely.
And I see it in the Facebook groups. I'm on a lot of Facebook real estate groups. Well, who is this person that represents this community or builder, or even the land developer, right?
Yeah.
So it's very hard to find you as an individual if you're representing a certain community or a certain product, right? That does need the outreach and the marketing to bring more customers your way.
Right.
So I feel like growing your pipeline is going to be essential when it comes to social media marketing.
Definitely is.
Yeah. I mean, I have a really great example. I would say last month. So before I became a supervisor, I was a new home sales consultant myself. So my past community that I was selling in, it was in Waller. So I had a realtor call me about a month ago, and so we had a great chat. And I asked her at the end, I was like, if you don't mind me asking, how did you get my number? And she said, well, I typed in Waller and all I saw was you with your builder. And I was I wasn't surprised, but I was very happy, that, okay, great, I'm there, like they see me.
Right.
Okay, great. So yes, I did let the team know at that community. I'm like, hey, there's a lead. They reached out. Please go ahead and, take care of them when they come in for the appointment.
Right.
But I think that was just a huge for me, and I always use that example.
Yeah, they can't buy from you if they can't find you.
Exactly.
Unless like the stars just align and they walk into your model home one
right,
day.
right, exactly.
Yeah, now anybody that's visible, you have to be visible in this market now.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I feel like people do want to know a name, a face before they actually come out, right?
Definitely.
Especially due to the circumstances that one may go through. But I think someone does want, like, hey, let's talk first. Let's see what's going on first, and then we'll go out there.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's actually a big reason why we decided to do like a 2-part interview, one with Cody that people have already watched.
I love that.
So like that kind of highlights the builder, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
or the product. And then ours kind of highlights the salesperson.
All
So
right.
that, they're building a relationship with Cody. Obviously, they're building a relationship with you, but
Right.
like they're getting to know the product with you guys. And
Right.
then my segment, if you will, is obviously to build a relationship with me, but also get to know you like as a person more so as, as a sales consultant.
Nice.
So,
No, I
but
love that.
it all goes back to like building that relationship and building that rapport up
Right.
front.
Yeah, absolutely. And here within our sales offices, we always have 2 to 4 consultants on hand. So there's always going to be somebody here
Good.
ready to assist.
That's good. That drives me crazy when I go to a model home and nobody's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for like 2 days out of the week. And I'm like, okay, I get it if you're having like staffing issues, but I'm like, if you only got one sales consultant, it's a giant neighborhood. I'm like,
Right.
there's a big miss there.
Absolutely.
That's just an observation from an agent's perspective.
Yeah.
But also it could be from a consumer's perspective.
Right, right. Because, again, when they see that sign, they may not call. Some people don't come back. You
Right.
know? So it's really important to have someone on hand.
Oh yeah, especially when you get in these big master plan communities when they have like 10, 12, builders in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, and you've got to
Competition's
be
real.
accessible and you've got to be visible.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what are some of the common objections you're seeing from buyers right now in the market?
So one of the main objections are, I don't want to run my credit. And I love that one because now with our preferred lender, we do a soft pull.
Yeah.
So we kind of nip that in the bud.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Then the other one is, I'm not ready right now. Right?
Right.
So my thing is, if you weren't ready, you wouldn't have came.
Right.
Something sparked in your mind or something happened in your life that made you want to come out. Something is going on and it's my job to be it's our job, sorry, not my job.
No worries.
It's our job to be the problem solver,
right.
With or without the agent present. We want to make sure we're helping you and what ignited that fire for you to come in and visit us here at Starlight Homes.
Definitely.
Within Cedar.
I like that you brought up where they're a problem solver because that happens with us all the time with buyers. Like, I could give you example after example, but there's 2 that come to mind right away. One was he had changed jobs and we went from house hunting to lease hunting. And I was like, guys, what's going on here? Why are we looking at rentals when you were just looking at a house? And I was like, you're engaged, you're about to get married. Like, this is the natural progression of things. Like, you need to be buying a house.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, I just changed jobs, and we just know that, that could have a problem with the lending aspect. And I was like, it's not. I was like, you took a promotion essentially for another company. I'm like, your income went up. And I was like, that's a story we can take to the bank. Right. And so that's not a big deal. And then we had another one where she was like, well, I just bought a car. And they had to pull my credit and yada yada. And I was like, well, we already had a pre-approval. We're not under contract, so that's not a big deal. Don't buy a car if you're under contract.
Right.
Different
Please
story.
don't.
Yeah, please. But that's a different story. But she like automatically like ruled herself out of the market. And I called the lender and I was like, hey, she just bought a car. Payment really didn't go up that much. And he was like, it's not a big deal. He was like, her income's so strong. The payment's not a big deal. It only went up like $150 or something crazy.
Yeah.
And he was like, she actually could have went up to like $850 from $500.
Wow.
So we were like, called her and now she's back in the market.
That's
but
amazing.
if we don't know the problem, we can't help the problem.
Exactly.
You know, so like we
Exactly.
need that communication.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be really big, right? So if a consumer comes in and, you know, is afraid to open up, it's going to be a little bit more challenging.
Yeah.
But for those who are open and they're willing to share their story or what got them into being in the home buying process, it really does help us so we can help them with their journey overall. But yeah, you're right. A lot of people do roll themselves out. You know, there's a myth. There's always a myth, right? Oh, I need 20% down.
Right.
No, you don't need
No.
20% down. You don't. You just maybe need 3, maybe 3.5, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Or maybe 0. It just depends on what you qualify for.
Exactly.
And no one knows until you as an individual do pre-qualify and start that process. It's going to be the number 1 step.
Definitely.
With Starlight Homes, it's number 4.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
you know, in the real estate world, it's number 1.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that people have the challenge with, right? Where they don't want to put in their information, and it's like that's where we're at a roadblock.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm glad that you brought that up because I mean we have that time and time again where they're like, we're thinking about buying something and we don't know, and then we're like, okay, well let's at least do the soft credit pull to kind of get an idea of what you're looking at, because the last thing we want to do is like you're looking at a $600,000 house and really it should be in like a $400,000 house.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And we've had it happen inversely too, where they're like, oh, we probably only can afford $350,000, and then we run the credit, we run the numbers, and they're like, actually, you can go up to like $550,000, $600,000 if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
You know? And then they get really excited because they're like, wait, I can get a pool now, and I can
more
get
doors
like,
open,
exactly,
right? So that's what I say. Like, even here, since we have so many layouts, so many floor plans, different square footages, we're really mindful of showing the future homeowner that comes through the door up to 3. That way they have, you know, options, and we can make sure we pinpoint exactly the payment range we're trying to stay at too.
Right. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sure on your side, you try to pinpoint and make sure you show like maybe 5 or 7 homes instead of 15 in one day.
Yeah.
So I think that really helps them narrow down.
Yeah, it does. It does. And a great example for that is we work with a lot of relocation buyers, you know, being that we're so big on social media and everything.
Right.
We're super accessible, and like we just talked about, that's one of the biggest reasons we named it Living in Greater Houston. You know, so we work with a lot of relocation. But even this past weekend, we had some clients fly in from Orlando, and they had never been to Houston. They want to move to Houston. I'm a transplant myself. I'm from Virginia, so I was in the same boat, and I was like, well, I'm actually able to help you out in like a really high capacity, because I did the same thing. And I was like, I know what my agent did and didn't do for me, so I was like, guess what? I'm going to double my efforts for you.
That's amazing.
Oh, I gave them this whole like, they're Houston professionals now. You know? But we talk about showing like so many houses, and I was like, look, we can look at like probably 3 to 5. But I was like, you're here for 3 days, you're looking to move to Houston. I was like, your time is not going to be best spent looking at houses. I was like, your time is going to be best spent looking at the different areas we've talked about.
Absolutely.
And we narrowed it down between like Clear Lake and Sugar Land, because they were originally looking at like something crazy, like way up there, like north of Conroe. And I was like, okay, well, you like shopping, you like doing this, you like going to shows. I was like, that's not going to be your best area.
Yeah.
So I kind of gave them a breakdown, and then we looked at like 2 houses, I think in Sugar Land and 3 in Clear Lake. And they were like, we could flip a coin and be cool with either one. Yeah, but
don't you just love those individuals? They're
it was
open.
so much fun. Yeah,
They're open to the areas.
Right,
Yeah,
but just
fun.
knowing your areas and kind of knowing like what people really need. Because like, don't get me wrong, I want to look at model houses all day. I want to look at homes all day. I like looking at houses, but like, that's not going to serve them as well as learning the areas. You know, the last thing I want to do is someone to uproot their lives, move halfway across country, and be like, this area stinks. SWAT's neighbor, or like raided my neighbor's house like 3 times now. Like, what did you get me into?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, learn the area. Let me give you my best advice. Go from there.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So what do you feel is a big misconception with new construction?
That we don't care
Yeah?
about you, and you meaning the future homeowner. I know in reality, yes, as sales consultants or anybody in new home construction, yes, we do represent the seller, aka the builder. However, we are humans just like you are. We do care. We want to be a part of the process, and we want to hand over your keys and take those photos and videos like your realtor does, right? So yeah, we're in the process, in the thick of it with you.
Yeah.
You know, So that is the misconception where, hey, you're always going to look out the best for the builder, aka the seller. Agreed, yes, but we also are humans with emotions as well, right? So when you don't succeed, we don't succeed.
Right.
Like our consumers are everything, our future homeowners. And when we see, when they come, let's say a Chapter 13 case for an example, and they think, I can't get a home. And they come to Starlight Homes, hopeful, but not with the expectations, but we make that possible, that dream of homeownership come alive, and we actually get them to the closing table. And those are the stories that really ignite us as a company, where, we could share this with others. And this is what we did for this home buyer, and you're no less.
Right.
So I think that's the misconception with us in the construction world, where we don't care and all we care is about the builder and the brand. That's not true.
I love that you brought that up. You're actually the first person to bring that up on our channel. Yeah. That's so good that you touch on that, because I would imagine your community, would it be safe to say like your community is kind of like a first home buyer community, more like focused, being so like affordable and
first time homeowner friendly, and then some of our master plan communities are going to be level 2 of first time homeownership.
Right. They're they're outgrowing their current home.
Yes.
They're adding to their family. Yeah. So I would imagine that you guys care in the way you do. You probably get to enhance that so much because you're meeting people who like recently got engaged and they're getting their life started, and they're like really starting to get to that like next level in life. So you probably experience like the highest level of emotion that I would imagine, because like when you get to some of these bigger like master plan communities with like 3,000 and 4,000 square foot homes, they're like, dude, this is our third house. Like, this is nothing. Like, it's just so transactional, I guess.
Yes, it can feel that way.
Yeah. Here's
absolutely.
probably a little bit more of a storyline, big chapter moment, if you will.
Absolutely, and we love it. We love being part of your story. Whether you're downsizing, leaving your family, getting married, having kids.
Yeah.
We love to be a part of it. Sometimes, we've even seen an individual propose. In their home, and it's fun. So lovely. Like, we make it exciting for them, and our whole team knows about it, and like, hey, let's just be cautious and let's make sure this house is superb for them to move in.
Positively.
Because the last thing we would want is an incomplete home and you move in. Absolutely not. We do not do that here.
Good.
We make sure it's 110% complete.
Good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So with you being on the management side of things, what do you see either yourself or your consultants incorporating into their business that kind of changes their trajectory in the most positive way?
I think their drive. In the sales industry, you do have to be motivated and self-motivated at that, right? Because we're all humans. We're going to have emotions. We're going to have our days. But what I see is the individuals that leave 80 to 95% at the door before they walk in, and they just tune in to what they need to do, what they need to handle day by day, and structure themselves, organize themselves. I've seen them be the most successful here with their careers and taking home the paycheck for their livelihood, right? Sure. So I feel like that is what is gonna be different from sales consultant to sales consultant, just their drive.
Yeah.
Their willingness to help, their willingness to make the deal work and to get that sale for both parties, right? The homeowner and, of course, the seller.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. That's what drove me into sales, because I was like, I've always been the type of like very above average drive, if you will, work ethic, so like I was like, well, I can give 100%, make $15 an hour over here, or I can go in sales where my paycheck matches my work ethic. So I was like, game on.
Yes.
It just makes sense.
Yeah, having a really good work ethic, you're motivated, you're ready to actually do the job itself, right? Because there are individuals that think it's easy, and it's really not.
Yeah.
Real estate is not just an easy part-time gig. Sometimes I do tell a candidate, this may seem a 5-day work week, but sometimes it can be a 7-day work week.
Positively. Yeah.
So
for me, it's like 16 hours a day.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to sleep for like at least 4 hours.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
So what lesson from your early days starting off in sales do you kind of still carry with you to this day?
Keep learning.
Yeah.
I cannot stress that enough because, you know, anybody can give you the right tools, but you have to keep sharpening your tools and your knives or anything in your toolbox, right? So keep learning, keep networking, and that's what really stuck with me because, you know, the first year is going to be the most challenging year. Whether you're a realtor and a new home sales consultant for a builder, the first year is going to be challenging. But that second year, that's when you really see the traction and the, you know, your salary or your pay.
Yeah.
You'll see it because what you put in is what you get out. And so if you're not learning about the industry, if you're not connecting with your loan officers to find out these different hidden programs, then you won't know what tools to present to your consumer, right? AKA the home buyer.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to be a jack of all trades. So never stop learning. Keep teaching yourself. If there's something you're not educated on, you know, definitely ask questions. I feel like a lot of people don't want to ask and they feel embarrassed, but no. Like I would love if someone came up to me and be like, tell me everything about your industry, you know, like you are.
Yeah.
I love that because I have a plethora of knowledge myself. Because before being in new construction and in real estate in general, I was on the banking side. So I worked really closely with my mortgage loan officer just to understand what LTV even meant, right? Or DTI, which is debt to income ratio, or loan to value for those who don't know those acronyms. But it really does help when you have just a mindset of being educated.
No, it absolutely does. And I came from the construction industry, and I mean, we had a deal last year where the house was like $60,000 under market price. And we're like, what is wrong with this thing? And when we got into it and found out, it wasn't anything inherently wrong with the home, it was just dated. And I guess the sellers like had beaten themselves up mentally, but me having those construction ties, if you will, and those contacts and kind of having like a general idea of what it would take to get that home kind of modern, you know, ready. What happened was I think that it really only needed about $25,000 worth of work. So they bought the house and then bam, $40,000 instant equity in their pocket. But just having that knowledge base and having those contacts and kind of knowing like what we're looking at as far as the bigger picture. I mean, that really was like a make or break on the deal.
Yeah.
Because they were really nervous. And I'm like, this house is fine. Like the plumbing's fine, the electrical's fine. But I'm like, you need new floors and you need vanities. Like outside of that, it's good to go. So.
Right. And see, it just takes that one person, you know, because if they didn't have you, imagine what would have happened to that home or that deal itself.
The deal wouldn't have existed, but they probably would have bought something else and had no equity. But I mean, if you want to move, like the equity is probably not the most like forefront thing in your mind, but to this person it was. Cause,
that makes sense.
Yeah, because they were like, is this too much house? Is it not enough house? So they were very like up in the air type, but ultimately it became to be a good deal and they're very satisfied with the purchase.
Amazing.
And we're like, that's what matters at the end of the day.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's great.
So what new construction trends are you seeing for the future that you're really excited about?
Honestly, just giving a better product in itself within our company. As you may know, our sister company is Ashton Woods. So Ashton Woods is a private home builder that's been in the business for 24 plus years now. So we're always trying to make sure we give a really good product without breaking the bank for our homeowners, right? So that's the trend I've been seeing, whether it comes to our cabinets or our countertops. We're trying to make sure we still give a good quality and still making sure it meets that price quota that we need to be at, you know, to execute our homes. As far as like more trends, I would say siding. You know, siding has become more of a thing. The hardy plank, right? So it's fire resistant. It's a slow burn, whereas older homes made out of wood, right?
Yep.
It's going to be more quicker.
Deterioration.
To deteriorate, right? If it does have a fire issue. So those are the trends I've been seeing personally.
Yeah, I know that's a big deal because, like I said, coming from the construction industry, in our region, it was all like masonite is what it was made out of, which is like a cardboard.
Okay.
It's basically cardboard, but we switched like pretty much 80% of our jobs were switching out the masonite to hardy. Because hardy is such a phenomenal product. So the fact that you guys use hardy, I mean, that just gives me confidence in your product on top of everything else we talked about. So, I mean, that's just a huge value between where you guys are at pricing wise and using quality material.
Yeah.
Because I know we talked about misconceptions with new construction earlier, and that's like the number one thing that I hear on my side of the industry is everybody's worried about the quality. So hearing that you're using quality products while being able to maintain a really good value, you know, is really refreshing. And as an agent, you know, if I bring you a buyer, it makes me feel that much more confident in your product, knowing that you're using quality materials.
Right.
So that's good to hear that.
Absolutely. That's something we'll not compromise on.
Good.
Because that's just not who we are as a brand.
Yeah.
You know. Another trend that is very popular, LVP.
Yep.
With luxury vinyl plank tile. So we use the highest material when it comes to the LVP. So they're water resistant. It's not the cheap material that can easily come out.
Yeah, and like starts to bubble and peel
Correct.
and fade. And
Yeah.
is it like the pet resistant, or not pet resistant? It's like a pet plus product, I think is what. Yeah.
Right. So ours is different than any other builders.
Yeah.
Of course, they may use the same one, but our competitors, right? So we use one of the top quality on the LVP.
Good, good. Yeah, it was funny. We didn't end up featuring them on the channel, but we went into a model home one time, and their flooring was literally already like scuffed and bubbling and stuff. And we're like, dude, this is your model home. What's going on here? So
Yeah.
we ultimately decided not to move forward.
Yeah.
Because we just didn't feel comfortable. I'm like, if this is your best and we're already having problems with it, and this model home's brand new, I'm like, this does not make any sense.
Absolutely. And first impressions really matter.
It does.
So if you see that as an agent, which is great, right? You see it before your client, and then same thing for us, you know, when we open our doors, won't come in sooner before any appointments and consumers, right? So we want to make sure our home that we're showcasing to everybody is top notch. You know, everything is neat and clean and able to be seen with your eyes.
Definitely. That's one thing I like about tour model homes for
Yeah.
new construction is how clean they are.
Yes.
We go to
Yes.
some like resale homes where I'm like, can you guys just sweep the floors before you walk through the door? Like
Yes.
something, you know?
I've actually been in one resale home and it was just a nightmare.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no.
You just like want to wash your hands.
Oh
like,
yes.
You know, when you
Yeah,
walk through the
it
door.
was me and my sister-in-law touring one resale home, and I was like, see, this is why we need to go towards new construction.
Yeah.
Because we have someone like telling us exactly what it is rather than just me and you and the agent viewing this home.
Yeah, yeah. That's how I feel when I leave some of my commercial properties. I'm like, there's a reason I'm wearing my boots out there. So I was like, I can just spray those things off with water when I get home because that place is gross sometimes.
Absolutely. And I don't know about you, but it's just something about having something new, right? It's like a new car smell
Absolutely.
feeling when it comes to a new home, like the carpet, the wood, or like the tile smell. It just, I don't know. It's maybe because I'm in this industry, so I'm biased, but it's just a whole complete different feeling because it's yours. You were the first one here.
Yeah.
And you have your story to tell.
Oh, it's a really nice feeling because we're about to buy our 4th home, but our 2nd home was a new construction.
Nice.
And I was like, this thing I know for a fact is not haunted. I was like, nobody's ever clipped their toenails in here. You know, I was like, that's a big deal. And I don't know, I just felt so like I could breathe a little bit easier in there. I was like, I didn't have to have like always have like professional cleaners come in and clean the house before we move in. And, you know, I was like, I didn't have to worry about any, perfect. And I didn't have to worry about any of that.
Nice.
It was just refreshing.
Yeah.
I felt so like at peace there.
Yeah, it's definitely hassle-free when it comes to new construction.
Yeah. Oh, plus the energy efficiency is a nice aspect too.
Yes.
Versus resale homes, like single pane windows, like sometimes they're missing insulation.
Yes,
Like, you know.
I'm so glad you brought that up. One of the cool features of us here at Starlight Homes, a company of Ashtonwoods, is we do dual pane windows. Our Bridgement with our soffit area, they have like these little tiny holes. You may have seen that. So I always tell individuals, like, just like we breathe, our house needs to breathe.
Yes.
And they're like, oh. And I was like, that's how it keeps the energy efficiency going with new construction homes, because we build our homes up to code. And most of our builders, they're ahead of, you know, what's going to be, when it goes to inspection, what's going to be yay or nay. So we're like 2 months ahead of what's to come, right? So example, like I remember when the outlets were near the kitchen area.
Yep.
So our builder already started implementing like, hey, let's not start putting it, because in a month or two they're going to tell us you can't pass inspection because it's so close to the kitchen area.
Right.
So we're always ahead of those trends and making sure our homes pass the inspections and are up to code.
Which is nice. That makes the deal go by so much smoother
So
too.
much
You don't have those
smoother.
objections like that.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna, have a third-party inspector come out. We want to make sure everything's up to date. That way, it's less paperwork for you to go through and everything like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, it seems like you guys, and like I said, it just goes back to Starlight just has so many good systems in place
Yeah.
as far as that goes, and it's been one of the best builders that we've encountered. I feel like, especially with the value you guys offer, it's so
Yeah.
great.
It is. And we even go a step farther. So we hire a company called Burgess. So they do a inspection for us as if they're our third-party inspector. So they inspect all of our homes and they put their certificate in front of the homes and give it to us as a copy for us to keep. So our homes do get inspected.
Oh, good, good. And then for buyers, do you allow them to have like an outside inspector
Absolutely.
as well? Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
we do recommend it. And of course, a homeowner can always do it at 10 months after they've been in the home. But yeah, we do recommend it. It's optional, not mandatory,
Right.
but it's recommended.
Is that for like your 1 year, like follow up for any like warranty work that needs to be done?
Yeah, they can definitely do that. Submit the tickets online.
Yes, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was meant to say.
Yes.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Perfect. All right, so we've covered what salespeople waste their time on, what makes Starlight so great. I have a couple more questions. So beyond bringing a buyer, how can real estate agents best support you guys? If you could look at that camera and tell real estate agents one thing, what would it be?
Let us educate you and your clients. I think a lot of times is, we let you guys be in control, and that's totally fine. But we also want to educate everybody within the appointment, right? Because there's so many point of views. And there's certain things we may learn from you, and you may learn from us, which does happen a lot of times, and it's okay. We're all here together to make the transaction possible and smooth as possible for the client of yours and the
Yes.
customer of ours, right? So I think let us help you and vice versa.
I love it. I think about that all the time with new construction. I'm very competent in my skill set, but my job is to educate you on the area, educate you on the value of the home, for comps in the area, make sure you're making a good purchase. But I do not know Starlight nearly as well as you do. I do not have the
Right.
hours of training. So I'm glad that you brought that up, because I think that is a point where agents really try to overtake the deal, and it's like, let you do your job is really what I boil it down to.
Yeah. And it's okay. We get it. Like, everyone's different, right? But it also affects, the consultant too, where they're like, we're definitely trying. We did it this way. We kindly did it this way, but this was the outcome.
Yeah.
And it's like, we want to be courteous and respectful to everybody and their thought process. So yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so we got 2 bonus questions.
Okay. I love it.
We've covered so much.
We have.
We've covered a lot.
I
If
mean,
you're not an expert on
and-
Starlight Homes,
And by now, I mean,
I don't
just
know what
call
to tell
me.
you. Yeah,
know?
seriously. So with everything we've covered, if you could think of one question for me to ask the next builder that we interview, what would it be?
Oh.
It can be anything sales process related, build related, community related.
Why should someone buy a house from you?
Okay.
Not just your brand that you represent, but why you? Because people really do buy you.
Yes.
And that's one of the books that we do read here at Starlight Homes, especially during our training. People buy you. People choose you.
Right.
So why should someone buy from you?
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And just as a consumer, 3 homes that I bought from other agents before I got in the industry, I never knew what brokerage or what company they were with. I just knew the person. So
Right.
that kind of backs that up. And then I love asking this question after that last question. If you could recommend anybody to be featured on our show, who would it be? Who should we call when we leave here today? Call them out.
You're speaking of somebody in my industry, like my company?
Yeah, it could be one of your other communities. It could be somebody else from the industry here in the Houston area. Who do you think would be good on the show?
Oh, It's a great question.
Think of it like the ice bucket challenge. Like, oh, I'm going to get him so good.
First person comes to mind is Paloma Diaz.
Okay.
She is actually a sales consultant for another builder in the Katy area.
Okay.
And I love her marketing. I love her hustle. I love her drive. And her fashion is just amazing, okay? Because, you know, when the winter freeze was coming, like she had a cute coat on. I'm calling you out. Sorry, Paloma.
Yeah.
But her events with the builders she works with, amazing. Like I don't like copying, but I do get inspired by her all the time. So I love to see her on your channel.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
and I
reach
think
out to
she'd
her.
be a great addition for you guys as well.
Perfect. Yeah, we've been wanting to do something in the Katy area, so that's actually perfect. That lines up well.
Yeah.
Mariam, we have, like I said, we have covered so much.
We have.
I think that's all I have from you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
I'm glad
guys.
we finally
Thank you
got
so
to sit
much.
down, and I'm glad that we got to see your community.
Yes.
And thank you everybody for watching.
Absolutely.